All right, we're live.
Welcome to the April 14th, 2026 regular meeting of the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors. Can we read out the closed session agenda?
Yes. Closed session for,
Do that. Okay, right? Yeah, you're right.
closed session for today. Item 1, pursuant to Government Code 54956.9D2, conference with legal counsel, re-anticipated litigation, one case, significant exposure to litigation. Item 2, pursuant to Government Code 54957B, consider the disability retirement of a safety employee. Item 3, pursuant to Government Code 54957B, consider the disability retirement of a safety employee. Item 4, pursuant to Government Code 54956.9D2, conference with legal counsel, re-anticipated litigation, one case, significant exposure to litigation.
Thank you. Public comment.
Yeah, you have some exposure to litigation right there. You have two bolts that are sticking out, protruding, and both of them are very ragged. You're gonna have to do something about that. Mr. Stopper,
Hi. Good morning.
looking good.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Good to see you back. He just wanders around sometimes. Corinthians 15:33. I want to remind you that the Bible, it doesn't claim divine interpretation, just in divine inspiration. It's a heavily edited document. But in Corinthians 15:33, we see something that you can use in closed session. In fact, in everything that you do this morning, and that is the words bad company corrupts good character. And similar to Machiavelli, who will say that you are known by the company, or you are known by your secretaries. The prince is known by his secretaries. Or Goethe is probably the most. Oh, and you show me a man's company, and you show me the man. It's the proverb that you are known by the company you keep. It goes through all, not only Western society, but you'll find it in the Mahabharata, the Indian, the Hindu text. You'll find it everywhere throughout the world. We live by these by this saying, and it must be also remembered that we live by rules. The scout oath we take when we scout law, professional rules of conduct, the laws and ordinances that we have that we look at on a daily basis, and that we have to understand why that is. That we and the reason is that we don't want to be corrupt. We want to live with good character. So, some nice ones. And then we'll move on.
The online public comment?
Well, no, I'm gonna move on to item number 4. You have 2
We have no online public comment.
that was item number 1. Now we're moving on to item number 4. It's 3 minutes for each item, not 3 minutes for.
I'm governing this meeting, Carl, but I will hear your request, but please make it to the point of each item.
Yeah.
And we'll go to item 2, because there's not just 2 items, there's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Call item 2 then.
I just did.
Okay.
Do you not hear me?
Then we'll move on to item 3.
All right, you're done?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, sir?
I have nothing on 3.
Okay, 4?
Yeah. Item number 4. And this is the reason that, and I've told the board this before, that we call each individual item. It's not asking for all the items to be commented on, or the public comment is to be commented on. Item number 4, it must be remembered in closed sessions such as this, that the public has very little knowledge until a later time. So sometimes it's hard to comment, but one of the things that we do is we can comment on the item, what we believe the item is. I have no beliefs what this item is, but go ahead with it.
All right, any further comment on online?
We have no online public comment.
Anything in the audience? Thank you. We'll adjourn to closed session. And we'll around 9 a.m.
Good.
Welcome to the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors meeting of April 14th, 2026. Regular meeting. Will everyone please stand for the pledge? Supervisor Hutton. Please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah. Excuse me. Report out for closed session.
Report out for closed session for today. Item 1, pursuant to Government Code 54956.9D2, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation. 1 case, significant exposure to litigation, board action, no reportable action taken. Item 2, pursuant to Government Code 54957B, consider the disability retirement of a safety employee, board action, no reportable action taken. Item 3, pursuant to Government Code 54957B, consider the disability retirement of safety employee, board action, no reportable action taken. Item 4, pursuant to Government Code 54956.9D2, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, 1 case, significant exposure to litigation, board action, no reportable action taken.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to staff announcements. Susan, would you like?
I would.
Thank you.
Go right here if that's okay.
Make sure you turn your mic on, please.
Thank you. So I have a Best Miner Award for Gary Toffanelli. His portrayal of Max the Miner. Gary had the gear with his helmet, equipment, and ever important bag of gold.
Gary. Oh, Gary.
Oh, this is for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. This is your certificate for Best Miner
I was
Award.
trying to get him to pay attention.
You had the gear with his helmet, equipment, and ever important bag of gold. He truly embodied the spirit of gold miner. Gary has made a tradition of bringing the role of a miner to life year after year, and he wears it well. That unmistakable thump of gold hitting the stage made his character more memorable. Gary was offered several roles to play, including a miner, but for some reason he declined both the role of the wizard's pet crow and the fairy godmother's sister. Good choice, Gary. And here you are.
No applause. Thank you. Good job.
I didn't realize you were doing that.
Thank you. I was trying to tell you that. All right. Further staff announcements.
Good morning, everybody. This is Barbara Ann again, and our Shauna. We're bringing back Barbara Ann because she deserves a home. She's one of 7 dogs right now that are adoptable, and we're bringing her back again because she's so wonderful and what a cutie patootie pie. She's about 2 years old. She's a German Shepherd mix, and she weighs probably about 43 pounds now. We received her back in October, so she's gained a little weight. And look at how well she sits for treats. She's a good girl. If you're interested in Barbara Ann, you can contact us at 754-6509. We found Barbara Ann's strain on Gold Strike in San Andreas. And at first, when we received her, she was very skittish, but through the help and care of our CCA staff and our volunteers, she's become a very sweet dog. At first, she was afraid of other dogs, but she's learned to feel safer and she's made friends, and she gets along for the most part with a lot of dogs, right, Shauna? We continue to introduce her to our other 4-legged friends, and she's become quite a part of our community and our shelter dog. Oh, I see Ben is taking a little special attention to her. She's going home with Ben. She's tidy in her kennel, and although we can't make any promises, our guess is that she will do fine with any house training. Again, if you have any animals at home, we ask that you bring them to do a meet and greet. And she's always available for foster as well. So we're always looking to foster out our animals. And so that is Barbara Ann and our wonderful Shauna. Shauna is one of our lead animal care specialists. She's awesome. She's the one that has the say of who goes and who stays and who rotates. We recently received several puppies that we are currently under our care, and she makes sure that they are taken care of.
What's the mix on the puppies?
They are a Belgian Belgian Malinois. Yeah. Yeah. We have several. They're not quite ours yet, so I can't talk a lot about them. But yes, they are very, very sweet animals. So you'll have to,
The daughter-in-law of two of the grandchildren has a Belgian Malinois. And the thing's not even a year old.
smart.
And it's out for Easter. And that dog was opening and closing the door with the lever on the knob. And doing whatever, going wherever, and
Super
had it
smart.
all figured out.
They're very smart,
Yeah.
intelligent dogs. Those are the
And-
dogs they use for police
Yeah.
canines. So very smart.
Yes,
So-
very good family dogs if you raise them up right.
Yeah, yes.
So.
All dogs are good dogs if they're brought up by good humans, right? It's those bad humans that
Yeah.
end up making the dogs bad.
Yeah, but the smart ones like that lead the kid to the right spots.
Yes. Well, Barbara Ann, looks like you have a home. So this past, thank you, Shauna. Thank you, Barbara Ann. You can stay up here for a little bit if you'd like. This past Saturday, we had our successful Focus and CCS microchip and rabies clinic. This was held this past Saturday from 9 to 11:30 with the DVM team of the Gatlins. And they gave over 160 rabies vaccines, and 60 microchips were given to pups and cats. And I always crack up because cats do not do well with vaccines. So we want to make sure that they're secluded and they're in their crates whenever we have those vaccine clinics. CCAS recently seized from a hoarding case 19 goats and 12 pups from unhealthy and unsafe conditions. And through our network of incredible humans, including our staff, focus members, and other volunteers and partners, we were able to place all animals in good homes. So that was another success. And then I will speak to another case that we have, but I just can't do that at this time. Public pool season is here, which means typically it starts May 31st, unofficially. And that is when swim season starts. So with that, our inspection staff from environmental health will be sending out our inspectors to inspect all public pools. We do a newsletter every year that is sent out to all our operators, just kind of giving them some helpful hints about what to do. We include different things within our newsletter in the email, which includes a self-inspection checklist to get ready for our inspectors, daily maintenance log sheets, sanitation requirements, signage requirements, what to do if there's a power outage, what to do if there's a fecal or vomit contamination incident, and that does happen, and much more. Some things to remember to keep your pool and spa safe and healthy include replace expired drain covers, safely store pool and spa chemicals, maintain fences and gates around the pool, test your pool daily and log results, ensure all required signage is posted and legible. So please visit our environmental health website or call us at 209-754-6399 to learn all about it. And that is also available on our website. And we do have some of those newsletters that are available.
I give them to the
Okay,
supervisors.
okay, awesome. So that is one time that that I allow staff to use our color printer. So it's something that that we like to generate and make sure our community is aware and that they have that knowledge so they can make the best decisions, not only for themselves, but to protect our communities. And that is all I have. If you have any questions. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you, Barbara.
And
Ben?
you should, not that one. I talked to you about the Belgian Malinois, I'll take a look at
You bet.
it. Well, let's bring in Bret Hart right there. Okay, is there further staff announcements?
I have a couple announcements
Yes,
for you.
sir.
Good morning, supervisors. Justin Barnes, program supervisor at Public Health. I just wanted to highlight a couple programs we offer at Public Health. One of them is our mobile programs and services. So we have a mobile van that goes to Health and Human Services every Friday, Sierra Hope and Angels Camp on alternating Wednesdays, and the San Andreas Covenant Church on other alternating Wednesdays. We offer HIV testing, immunizations, we screen for diabetes, blood pressure, and we recently added cholesterol testing. So this is a great service that is at no cost to any community member who resides in Calaveras County. We also help with referrals for other programs that is offered outside of public health through the Unitas referral system. So just something I wanted to highlight as a no-cost healthcare access for our community members. Additionally, we have a home visiting program at Public Health. This is available for families with children ages 0 to 6 years old. Trained public health staff can go to their home, teach them about child development, reaching their milestones. We make goals and plans to help reach those milestones. If we screen them and find that maybe they're behind on a couple things. We also have a number of resources for parents, safety equipment, bassinets, play gates to block things like fireplaces, plug covers, so small children can't get their hands in things like outlets, a number of safety equipment that we can offer to parents and families that need a little extra support. All they have to do is scan the QR code on the flyer I have here. They fill out an interest form and we get them enrolled in the program. And that is what I wanted to speak to you about today.
Excellent, thank you.
Have a good one.
Good morning. My name's Sherry. I'm the other program supervisor at Public Health. And I also wanted to give some updates. Specifically, I wanted to talk about our tobacco prevention team, who on April 23rd took 5 middle school and high school students from Calaveras County down to the Capitol for California Youth Advocacy Network's Youth Quest Day, which is just one big day where they bring middle schoolers and high schoolers from all over the state to the Capitol, and they do advocacy and communication skills. And then we march to the Capitol, and then they actually get the chance to practice those skills by directly speaking with legislators. And so our little team of 5 spoke to 3 assembly members and their staff about the impact tobacco and nicotine products is having on them and just the Calaveras County community as a whole. So I wanted to give them a shout out for that. And then I wanted to talk about our CalFresh Healthy Living program, which is a program that provides nutrition, physical activity, and gardening education to the community. This program loses funding at the end of this month. And so they're currently wrapping up all of their programs, and they've been working really hard to not only provide this education, but also work with their sites to work on some sustainability plans. And I wanted to thank not only the team that is working right now on it, but there's a lot of other people who have been in the CalFresh program over the past few years. And so I wanted to thank them for the work they've done.
Is this the same program that works for the master gardeners at the elementary schools?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Maybe we can get a little something going on, a fundraiser or something to help continue that on. I don't know. We'll have to talk to somebody somewhere like District 3.
Well, feel free to loop me or Colleen into those conversations if you get to them. Thank you.
Miss Wendy?
Good morning, Wendy, Behavioral Health Director. Today is our ribbon cutting for the Aegis Mobile Medication Unit in the 509 East St. Charles parking lot. And they are not a government entity, so they will have food and some beverages. So that starts at 11:30. If you can make it and learn about the mobile unit, please come and say hello. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments? All right, we'll move on to here, let's make sure. I'm pretty sure the proclamations are next before public. Right?
Yes.
Yes, okay, Stacy, would you like to announce what we are doing and when we're doing it?
Yes. So recognitions and acknowledgements, item 5, proclamation, clerk of the Board of Supervisors adopt a proclamation recognizing the 2026 valedictorian and salutatorian from Bret Harte High School.
Should we let them know now that we're gonna be holding off on the Calaveras High?
So yes, for item 6, proclamation for adopt a proclamation recognizing the 2026 valedictorians from Calaveras High School, that will be postponed at the request of the high school to the second meeting in May.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Sir.
Thank you, Chair.
Whereas each year, Bret Harte High School selects one student with the highest grade between average to be valedictorian.
You're
Boy, rookie mistake, sorry. Whereas each year, Bret Harte High School selects one student with the highest grade point average to be the valedictorian, and one student with the second highest grade point average to be the salutatorian. And whereas the coursework completed is difficult, and the competition for such an honor is highly competitive. And whereas these students serve as role models for their classmates and underclassmen through exemplifying critical thinking, effective communication, problem solving, and organizational skills. And whereas in addition to achieving the highest and second highest class ranks, these students have demonstrated many admirable qualities such as integrity, hard work, determination, and a commitment to excellence throughout their 4 years in high school. And whereas these students are honored at their high school graduation ceremony, but because this achievement is so significant and worthy of commendation, the Calaveras Board of Supervisors wish to recognize them as well. Whereas the Bret Harte High School valedictorian for 2026 is Braden Bowersox, and whereas the Bret Harte High School I can't get this right, salutatorian for 2026 is Jaden Stone. I will ask for any public comment.
Morning, I got some time to spend with these wonderful people and their families. And I thought that they've just done a fine job raising their children. And, comes upon ourselves. I got a little high school story. Tom Hanks came to my graduation. And every time I run into Tom Hanks now, and very rarely, but I like to ask him, so whatever happened to you after Bosom Buddies? We both get a good laugh out of that. I hope that in the future you guys will keep in touch with your classmates and people that you knew so far back. Well, for me, it's so far back that you was. So, congratulations.
Is there any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board.
If I'm thinking mom and dad or something, they might want to come up and say a word or two.
That's
No? One-time chance to come up and say something about your child and their accomplishments.
I certainly hope there's more chances than this one.
Absolutely. Here and now.
First off, just really thank the board for honoring and recognizing those achievements and for supporting the schools in general and, the youth of the county. And so it's very much appreciated. And, just really commend both of those young gentlemen right there for the hard work they've put in over 4 years and just really enthusiastic about the future, knowing that the county is producing such great, outstanding young citizens. So thank you very much for the opportunity and for the recognition. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good job.
You sure? Come on.
This is, Mr. Toffenelli's right. This is the only time today you may have the chance.
Yes, only today. No.
Okay. Well,
I'd like to say thank you to Braden and Jaden for working so hard. Proud of you and hope you'll come back and take one of our jobs someday after you go out into the world and accomplish great things, and good job, parents.
and I do have to back up, even though we don't have the red in here at the same time, your purple still shines. And it's not, you should be proud of what you've done, and that type of work that you put into it will go well into whatever you aspire to be in the future. So keep your head high, keep your mind to the ground, and you can do whatever you want.
If I may, I just wanted to echo Supervisor Andal and say, if you want to come back here and if either of you ever feel like going to law school, I'm usually hiring, so just keep that in mind.
Congratulations to both of you. Great job. 4 years of your life you put into it, and you're here now and you're moving forward. You're graduating. Hopefully you're going to college and getting a degree from college and move forward in life. And you should be very successful, just showing how the 4 years you've done what you've done. So congratulations.
And I'd like to speak on behalf of Supervisor Fallendorf and myself in saying thank you so much for the work that you've done. You make us very proud. And we're here. So if you ever need guidance going forward, and if you ever have any questions or how we can help, I know both Supervisor Fallendorf and myself would be more than happy to answer any of your questions or give you our opinion or advice. So thank you.
I'll make a motion if you'll have it.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0-1. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors commends these students named as valedictorian and salutatorian for the Bret Harte High School class of 2026 on their impressive accomplishments. Passed and adopted by the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors, State of California, on this 14th day of April 2026.
Right, so those shoes seem the same. Good job, hold the work here.
Hey. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Come on. The calls are nice thing that's us to do. Things now they're running.
So let me do this one first. Yeah.
Social.
2, 3, 1 more. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Very long done.
Well, good job, this parent has to be helped. It takes a family. That's what I hear. You don't have to go, you can train for that. I'll let you take it.
Thank you.
A hand up. All right, Mr. Toffno, or Miss Stacy Simpson.
Item 7, proclamation, Board of Supervisors adopt a proclamation honoring the Sheriff's Office Calaveras Narcotics Enforcement Unit.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Stacy. This is a proclamation, again, this is a proclamation honoring the Sheriff's Office, Calaveras Narcotics Enforcement Unit, CNEU. Whereas the Calaveras County Sheriff's Office Investigations Division consists of dedicated detectives, narcotics investigators, and support personnel. And whereas over the years, the members of the Calaveras Narcotics Enforcement Unit within the Investigations Division has remained steadfast in their mission to conduct long-term investigations leading to identification, disruption, and dismantling of drug trafficking organizations while identifying, protecting drug endangered children. And whereas while transitioning from being the sheriff's marijuana enforcement team back to a more holistic Calaveras Narcotics Enforcement Unit, in 2025, the deputies eradicated 19 illegal cultivation sites, authored 36 narcotic-related search warrants, and returned to the proven method of field work for results. And whereas February 27, 2026 concluded a 5-month-long investigation of a drug trafficking organization. Operation Trash Panda culminated with around 100 law enforcement personnel executing simultaneous high-risk search warrants resulting in multiple arrests. 1,900 marijuana plants and 100 pounds of processed marijuana was seized. 12 firearms were seized, and the dismantling of an active methamphetamine conversion lab with around 2,700 pounds of methamphetamine in various stages of processing seized. Whereas the Calaveras Narcotics Enforcement Units worked closely with the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office and the Sacramento Area Intelligence Narcotics Team, or SAINT, along with the partners in the DEA, their HIDTA program, or High Intensity Drug Trafficking Areas, HSI, FBI, Magnet, the Merced Area Gang and Narcotics Enforcement Team, and CDCR personnel who assisted in the investigation and search warrant services. And whereas this is to date the largest single methamphetamine seizure in Calaveras County Sheriff's Office history, and noted to be one of the largest domestic methamphetamine lab seizures in DEA history. Wow. Whereas, due to the extraordinary efforts of the Sheriff's Office, Calaveras Narcotics Enforcement Unit, over a ton of poison in the form of methamphetamine was prevented from being released into the community. This is a direct reflection of the dedication, professionalism, and the efforts of the sergeants and detectives assigned to CNEU, reflecting on an organization devoted to the highest ideals of community service. Sheriff.
Good morning. For those that don't think cops don't have a sense of humor by naming this Operation Trash Panda, our investigators literally dug through trash found and spent 5 months of various tenacious investigation to pull this together. So I'm very impressed by them and what they were able to accomplish for our county in stopping this. I was talking with one of our deputies this week about recruitment and retention elements. And she mentioned that one of the biggest reasons she chose Calaveras County to become a deputy was because our community is so supportive. And that's also reflective in how supportive this governing body is for public safety. So we really do appreciate you guys doing this proclamation. Considering that we serve simultaneous search warrants with over 100 law enforcement officers, it might seem weird that I'm the only one here today.
Yes.
But you know that I am the public figure for the sheriff's office. The ties with this manufacturing and distribution narcotics network to the international drug trafficking organizations is very real. The threat to our nation, to our community, and to my deputies is very real. So collectively, we made the decision that the hardworking investigators weren't going to be here for this public recognition. Believe me, they're watching it. They're very grateful for it. They've already told me that they're looking forward to framing the proclamation and hanging it on the wall in their office so that they can see it as a reminder of their hard work, and also so that the future of all of the narcotics unit can see what they accomplished during this time and motivate others to be just as tenacious in their investigations. So I just want to say thank you very much for the recognition for them today. They appreciate it.
Absolutely. Is there any comment from the board?
You know, talking about this prior, and complete respect for the officers, and you know, just because you're a public figure, we appreciate you being willing to stand up and speak for them all, because you're as much at risk as anyone, Rochelle, and we appreciate you for being able to stand up as the face for the community, and the appreciation of the other law enforcement agencies that stepped in and worked with you. And it's just amazing that Calaveras was able to take the lead and that was able to expand to the point that it has. And it's just, you know, a lot of the framework was and foundation for how you operate was set before, but you know, you're continuing to not only carry the success of your predecessors, but you've been able to expand on that so that we can continue to carry law enforcement with the pride we do in Calaveras County, which makes it easy for people like us to support. So top to bottom, good job by everyone. We appreciate them, and we appreciate every person that you end up saving their lives, because that stuff didn't end up on the street. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You want, oh, Martin?
I just wanted to ask really quickly, I mean, obviously, the massive amount of what you captured isn't just going to affect Calaveras County. Do you know how widespread those drugs would have gone?
Very. We know they're being distributed all over California. I can't go into details because some of it's still part of an active investigation. But over a ton of methamphetamine is significant. When we staged those pictures for the press release to show how many narcotics that there were, I talked to the DEA chiefs of the Sacramento office, of the San Francisco office. It's the biggest seizure in both those office histories. I think we ended up around third highest in the nation. But it's just the magnitude of it and the lives that were saved and being able to stop that from hitting the streets, and being able to take those individuals into custody, work well with our federal partners, have the federal prosecutors take the case and take custody of all of those individuals was definitely significant.
We can't thank you enough, Sheriff. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff Whiting, to you and your team who's watching, the seamlessness that your department handled the situation. And, you know, I think it's an honor to serve with you. And I think our entire community is grateful to have your department protecting and representing our county.
Thank you.
Sheriff, I want to thank you and your entire team and the other teams that did this. This was in my district, unfortunately.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And so, Stacy, according to the sheriff, and what she has said, we're gonna need 100 of these proclamations. So.
Get ready to start signing.
Man, yeah. Another finger cramp after the last I did for the high schools.
Yeah, and Sacramento Sheriff Jim Cooper and his support and the helicopter and his team was absolutely outstanding. He's a great sheriff as well, and the support that they provided for us.
Yeah, well, I echo everything the other board members say. Great job, fantastic. Get all of that off of the streets. You probably save who knows how many lives. So thank you. And at this point, I'll open it for public comment.
It's up to you, Carl.
I gotta say, that I have to thank the sheriff as well. Illegal drugs are a scourge on our communities. In West Point, I watched people my own age. I watched them take, do crank and other drugs. And luckily I didn't have to live in that environment at the time. Those very people are people you take the opinions of sometimes. And what happened when they were young, the drugs they took that have affected them in ways that that are not exactly don't exactly help them or help their cause. Perhaps they are good people, but you have to take that in consideration. Where people come from. So, if we alleviate drugs from the equation at a young age, we're gonna have far fewer problems. Drugs, these narcotics, people turn to them because of sometimes desperation, a need to fit in, a home life that's not conducive to being healthy. So with that, I deeply thank the sheriff department, the sheriff, for the work that they did on a daily basis. I have nothing but heartfelt thanks. Thank you.
Is there any other public comments? Is there any online?
We have no online public comment.
Okay, with that, I'll close public comment, bring it back to the board. I'm open for a motion.
Sir, I'd be honored to make a motion along with, the prior sheriff and you I talked to. Then, this hits the heart because I said with, other circumstances and close family, my only ask was do the best work you can so that no one else has to go through the pain that we've seen. And thank you for carrying that torch, Rochelle. It really hits spots. With that, I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Supervisor Stopper,
I'd like to second.
a second by Supervisor Hubbard. All in favor?
Aye.
No, passes 4-0-1. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors does hereby commend the Sheriff's Office, Calaveras Narcotics Enforcement Unit, for its vital role in protecting and keeping our community of Calaveras safe.
See you shiny, Jen. Wouldn't mind one of those. I guess so. Ready? Okay, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, down.
I will.
Okay. Excuse me. General public comment, please.
Any item of interest to the public that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board and is not posted on the consent or regular agendas may be addressed during the public comment period. California law prohibits the board from taking action on any matter which is not posted on the agenda unless it is determined to be an emergency by the Board of Supervisors. If public comment is completed before the 30-minute allotted time period, the board may immediately move to the next order of business. If public comment is not completed during the allotted time period, it will be continued as the last item of business in order to provide an opportunity for the remainder of comments to be heard.
Any public comment from the boardroom?
My name is Christopher Budner, publisher of CalaverasWatchdog.com. Martin Hubbardy, you're under criminal investigation for multiple alleged crimes, including fraud. Also resulting from my evidence-rich sworn complaint, the FPPC recently notified you of being under their scrutiny for numerous alleged violations of the Political Reform Act. You received an FPPC warning letter last year. This time around, you could potentially be barred from holding public office. Also, the bipartisan U.S. House of Representatives Committee on Oversight and Government Reform was notified with interest. You are a material witness to Sarah Ferguson's activities in connection to pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Also, you spoliated material evidence from your Facebook account by deleting a post prominently featuring a campaign endorsement video by your gal pal, Sarah Ferguson, boosting your 2022 campaign. Spoliation of evidence is the intentional destruction or alteration of evidence in and may be considered indicative of consciousness of guilt, prosecuted as a criminal act if the evidence tampering was done to obstruct justice or interfere with an investigation. Digital forensic tools exist to recover incriminating evidence you've spoliated. Ben Stopper, resign. Focus on healing your spiraling crises, including fighting CCWD's allegation you falsified records. Your track record with FPPC filing requirements speaks volumes about your lack of fiduciary fitness to hold this office. On March 19th, I addressed the FPPC chair and commissioners during their monthly hearing concerning the Enforcement Division's 12-count probable cause finding against you. Anticipate your penalty may be tens of thousands of dollars. You're done, Ben. Amanda Gary Autumn, pay heed. Sarah Edwards, you're under criminal investigation for multiple alleged violations, including aiding and abetting fraud. Additionally, you refused to obtain an official statement from Martin Huberty concerning his supposed notification of county officials pertaining to his contact with Jeffrey Epstein and associates. You refused to address Ben Stopper's alleged Brown Act violation. Teresa Hitchcock, I allege you're the CEO of a criminal enterprise masking as a legitimate county government. Resign. Judy Hawkins, Sheriff Rochelle Whiting, and DA Barbara Uke. I allege you're all part of a protection racket for a criminal enterprise masquerading as a legitimate county government. Grand jury, do your job. Carissa Davidson, the Calaveras enterprise ignores metastasizing county government corruption. Clyde Clapp, wannabe returning District 5 supervisor, you were adjudicated in May 2024 by the Superior Court of the County of Calaveras for having engaged in intentional and repeated violations of fiduciary duties and were abusive within the meaning of the Elder Abuse Act. Withdraw now. My name is Christopher Butner, publisher of CalaverasWatchdog.com. Have a nice day.
Wow. He's not nice to people, except for me. He gave me this big bag of M&Ms this morning. Thank you.
No choice.
I should give him both. As you know, I'm getting my affairs in order, and one of those things is finding homes for things I have. And one of the books is the Activist Handbook, 1993. I saw on the shelf. I bought it at Green Apple Books in San Francisco, and I never cracked it open. By 1993, I was working for a former governor and then to be governor. And the years previous, I was in school, and then I was involved in overthrowing a government. A student revolt in another country that I was invited to. It was something else. In the middle of the night, one night, they pulled me off a train as I was trying to get out of the country. And the guy said, "My son's doing what you were doing. Get out of here." You know, what touches me about Calaveras County is the number of good county employees that we have. From Micah Martin, I'm not going to stick around for his item, which is next, but he's been keeping Bald Mountain Road clean, safe, and repaired for a long time now, and he listens when you have something to talk about. The sheriff, who gives a open ear. Lisa Medina back here, who always does her best. Wendy Alt, who never hit on a woman like this. She can give you 72 hours to think about it. To Stacy over here, our new auditor controller, Mr. Sessions, our public health head back here, who I spent some time with today talking, a great dog lover. And then we have Judy Hawkins back there with the lovely red blazer she's wearing today, and she does her best. We have our our ag commissioner, who's always there when you have a question. I just remember that there is some talent in the county. It may not reside with you, but there's some talent in the county. There we go.
Any further public comment? Anything online, Ms. Simpson?
We have no online public comment.
With that, we'll bring it to the consent agenda.
Consent agenda items are expected to be routine and non-controversial. They will be acted upon by the board at one time without discussion. Any board member, staff member, or interested party may request the removal of an item from the consent agenda for later discussion.
Would there be anybody in the boardroom that would like to pull a consent agenda item, staff or public? Board members? Yeah. Okay, then I'll bring it back to the online. I don't think we haven't done online, have we? Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Well, second.
Moved by Mr. Hubbard, seconded by Mr. Toppinelli. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 401 vote of the board. I'll give you a minute. And Micah, you're almost solo. But we do have someone that has the fingers on the purse strings that's going to stick around for a minute. All right. Ms. Simpson.
Item 27, information item, Public Works, receive a presentation on the draft 2026 Calaveras County Department of Public Works 5-year capital improvement program and provide direction.
Good morning, Board Chair. Sorry. Good morning, Board Chair, Board of Supervisors, Madam CEO, and the public. Here to represent our Public Works Department and present our draft capital improvement program, which represents a 5-year projection of our capital improvement projects. And before I get started, I just want to give a little bit of recognition to some of our staff. I say here and present this program, but there is many people involved in putting this together, including all of our project delivery team, Robert, who's here tonight or today to help out, and a few of our consultants who we have on contract for staff augmentation. They'll be the ones delivering these projects over the next 5 years, and I'm very thankful that I've been able to have their input and their involvement in this effort. Okay, so the purpose of this presentation is to take a moment to highlight some of the completed projects we've done over the past fiscal year. Also going to take some time to go through some of the changes that are different in this CIP than you've seen in previous versions of it. Also want to discuss our proposed 5-year paving program. And then also highlight some new projects that have been introduced into the CIP. And also provide an opportunity for the board to provide input and direction. So these are just some of the completed projects we've done over the last fiscal year, which is a pretty good amount. I'm very proud of the work the staff has done. Some of these projects have been very successful. Our gateway monument signs, as you're all familiar with, throughout each of your districts, along with some of our annual programs with high friction surface treatment, thermoplastic striping, our road striping. We also completed the Valley Springs School Safety Improvement Project Phase 1, which also got a Project of the Year award from APWA of Sacramento. Manji Ranch Road Bridge Replacement also received an award from APWA of Sacramento. Our Burns Ferry Guardrail, Dogtown Road over French Gulch Bridge, Lime Creek Road over Youngs Creek Bridge, and our Keep Calaveras Clean beautification and education efforts. So just a brief overview of project selection, how we choose projects and why we choose the projects we do. to be brought forward for recommendation. The most important factors are these data-driven decisions that are based around safety, pavement condition, traffic volume, evacuation or secondary routes, economic importance, coordination with other projects, and available funding. And these all are help us use our limited resources in a very thoughtful and meaningful way to make sure that we're being fair to all the needs of the county. This is just a snapshot of the funding sources that fund our CIP program. We have nearly $10 million in capital improvements forecasted for the next fiscal year. As you can see, the majority of our funding is under restricted funds where we have state grants and federal grants. There's a few other portions that contribute to that, and a very small amount that is considered discretionary funds, and that's our RSTP and the portion of our HUDA, which goes towards road maintenance. So as you can see, we're very limited on the resources we have available and the amount of funding available and how we use that funding. So we take that into consideration as we select our projects and how we work towards obtaining the funding needed for each one of them. So some of the changes here, as you'll see on the project sheets within the CIP itself, we've made sure to highlight the county district within the project sheet. And there's also a summary page which will tell you which projects are in your district. There's also planning references here. So we like to make references to planning documents that mention these projects as a need or a priority, so that there's some context as why this project is being brought forward or being recommended in relation to the planning documents that outlines it.
There's ones on there also.
Well, yeah. And then our funding table is projected for 5 years. So some of these projects are multi-year projects. And this funding table allows you to see the projection over the multiple years that the project will be under construction, whether it's under right-of-way, design, environmental, or construction. It could span over a number of years. Another one of these changes, we felt it important to kind of highlight the level of interagency involvement that's centered around our projects. We have several projects that require cooperation from Caltrans, from FHWA, from the CTC, the COG. There's many different agencies that are involved in our projects, whether it's through the planning and the funding or the design or the construction. It's important to know and understand all the different agencies that are involved and the level of support that's provided. Again, with some of the CIP changes, we provided a summary page which allows you to look at your district and see all the projects within your district and the corresponding page numbers. So if you want a quick reference to just see the projects that affect your district, you could take a quick look at that and know where to find them. Also, we included in this version of the CIP an overview of Caltrans projects. So this is a list that's provided from Caltrans of what they have planned over the upcoming few years. So we felt it important to include this so that it gives you some perspective as to the amount of work that's being done throughout the county. There's other agencies doing projects as well, not just the County Public Works Department, but Caltrans and other agencies. So this helps kind of highlight the level of work that they're doing in your district and the work that our constituents can benefit from. It also represents the level of coordination that needs to be done between staff and Caltrans when it comes to these projects. Another section here is we added this in, and this is new. The Calaveras Council of Governments, they have a number of projects that they're working with us on, and some of them that they're actually taking the lead on. So we wanted to include these in here to show the interagency coordination and the amount of work that's being done through them as an independent agency. We also did a few summaries of the planning and informed future projects. So this kind of gives you a breakdown of all the different planning documents that are being referenced. So you could kind of see which projects are related to those planning documents. And then if you look at the table to the right, this kind of is a summary of the roads that have been identified as having the most need by how often they're referenced in a planning document. So you can see like Jesus Maria Road has been referenced quite a few times through numerous planning documents as having needs as opposed to Railroad Flat and Sheep Ranch Road. So this helps us kind of focus our attention on areas that have been mentioned through planning documents that have areas of need and help us to try to put together some consensual ideas of what projects may look like or what those needs may as they be brought forward. Yeah. Oh, this is
These slides, information on
yeah,
so small.
sorry.
I'm trying to find most of them in our packet here.
Yeah, this is actually in Main Street Murphy's, sorry. Yeah. I'll make sure to, the good thing with this is draft version, so I have an opportunity to make clarifications and corrections, so I'll make sure to clarify that in the final draft. So this is a snapshot of our upcoming annual road resurfacing and paving. So as the board is aware, we had intentions and plans to pave Hart-Dixon and Baldwin this fiscal year. We've run into some coordination challenges with the water district. So this table represents pushing those projects out to next fiscal year. Just because we're worried about timeline and being able to get that done. And then this also. Go ahead.
I just have to say, 7 years on the board. A lot of the foundation of what we're looking at on roads and everything were put in when Josh Pack was here, and it got originally constructed in the way that we're going forward, and those were on there 7 years ago. And because of the Dig Once policy and things working forward smarter, so we're paving the same road twice after a district comes through and does work and vice versa. We've waited these 7 years, and the timeline's been passed multiple times by the district in charge of that. And more so, the project is more moonwalk than move forward with time, and possibly with these delays, we could lose some money when it comes to paving the roads. Now, you talked about the team that put this together over time. I mean, for the most part, Robert, you're the only one still here, right? So at this time, there's going to have to be a certain point where timelines keep getting extended and everything. Some people have to hold true to their word and do what they actually say they're going to do so that we can benefit the community as a whole. It's disappointing for my district because we've been waiting on those far too long.
Yeah.
And that's 7 years of delay. And now they kick the can again. For what? Like literally, I've had to replace parts on my truck for driving up and down Hart-Dixon Road. It's like Autumn can, she grew up on a gravel road. And I lived out Harbor Road for a time in District 2. And you knew how it was with the washboard out there. Every month or so, we'd be tightening the bolts on our trucks because if we didn't, they'd fall apart on the way home. And that's what I'm dealing with on Hart-Dixon Road, along with my constituents. Baldwin's not quite as bad, but the metal plates, what is it? It's not even checkers. Sometimes they're almost off the holes. It's scary. Should be a level of accountability on the work and the safety of the citizens also. Sorry, it just needs to be said for my constituents because
Understood.
it's the truth. And I'm glad you're here now, Micah. So we have someone that's willing to hold them accountable.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so also for this next coming fiscal year, we have Burns Ferry Road, which we'll be attending to as well. So we have quite a bit of paving work to do, but we feel confident we'll be able to get these taken care of. And then in the subsequent years, these are roads that are recommended. As we move forward, some of these may shift or change depending on funding or priority. So this is kind of a forecast, but it gives you an idea of where the highest needs are. These are all new projects, and I won't go through each one of them individually, but they're just here for you to see. So this is all based off of, input from the board or a lot of the research we've done through some of the planning documents that are being referenced. So these have all been added to the CIP. They weren't in there previously. So it gives you an idea of the workload over the 5 years that this will be consisting of. And so some of these are just kind of, conceptual for the time being until we get a little bit better at narrowing down a design and what the needs are and how we plan on paying for those. But they are in here.
Caught a typo. That's our 26 Valley Springs Complete Streets. Phase 2 is in my district, but if you want to put his district on it and take a little bit of his money pie, we can talk about it.
Okay. Thank you for that. I'll make sure to correct that. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for all the help you do with all the other parts on the roads in my district and the other districts in the county of Gary. We appreciate the work you do.
And that's it for the presentation. As I said, it's in draft form, so I am aware of a few typos and errors with regards to districts and things like that. We'll make sure we correct. But if there's any other input from the board or any other request or direction that they have, I'm happy to hear that now.
Yeah. Hartfixon and Baldwin. Can we get done?
Well,
A timeline? Can we get a timeline that's solid so that we don't hear punt?
Yeah, so, we're kind of at the mercy with the water district there, and we've been coordinating our efforts quite a bit to try to get that done within this fiscal year. They've had to make some changes in how they're performing their work, and they pulled off the job for a period of time, and that's delayed the schedule. So,
They pulled off the job?
I know that they had some coordination issues with the contractor working on Hart-Vixen and them working on Baldwin, and there was some concerns about safety and a lot of the members of the public being upset about the amount of traffic control they were having to contend with. So that's the information I received.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because the public needs to know, because we have both ends of Cane Lane blocked off consistently. And that's Hart-Vixen as a whole. It's just I don't know how the shuffleboard works there. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have been in contact with them, and they are back out there working again. We're hoping that they can make significant progress to get this done before the end of the season. That's our goal. That's what our CIP reflects.
Gary says there's possibility that Hart-Vixen may be getting paved in May.
Yeah, so they, Hart-Vixen they're using a contractor to do that work. So it's possible that they may be able to get that paving done in May or June. The difference with Hart-Vixen is they're performing the work and we just have a contribution we put forward with that, right? So if they move forward with that, that's great. We have a portion of Hart-Vixen we'd like to pave right there by Vista Del Lago, kind of where their project leaves off, so we could get all of Hart-Vixen paved. So we'll step in at that point.
Yards.
Yeah.
Almost to the top of the hill, maybe 120. Yeah. Out
The whole
of
yeah.
how many miles of Hart-Vixen?
Yeah.
It's
So if coordination works out well enough with them to get that completed, we may be able to step in and get that part done. We'll just have to see timing wise if they complete their work when they say they will.
That's the only thing I want to talk about is timing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's consistent in District 5. I think we've been late every time on every project in District 5, no matter who's doing it. All right, my soapbox is done. It broke.
I want to thank you for this presentation, and I think it's pretty diverse on your projects and what you're trying to get accomplished here over the course of the next 5 years. I think, again, it's diversified. It's not all in one district. It's spread out pretty good, which is a good thing. My concerns, though, are funding issues. And we have some funding issues right now that we could lose some money on. And if we do lose that money, or even we ask for extensions on that money, because it's tied to the state, it could affect us in the future and future funding, which could affect these projects that are in front of us now. Because the state generally says if you don't use the money, then apparently you don't need it, we'll give it to somebody else. And then it takes a long time to get that money back. And it's kind of, we've had to in the past, we've actually given money to San Joaquin County in order to preserve that, and Robert remembers that, and in Sacramento County, in order to keep that money flowing. And then we were to get it back from those counties in the future for their project. So I have some concerns now on a couple projects here that could affect that. And that's the concerns I have, that we really need to keep a close eye on that, and we need to do what we need to do. Some of this money is from 24-25, which is like 3 years ago. And trying to extend it could be an issue. So I think we need to look at the projects that it's supposed to be being used on, and see what we can do to move forward, at least get the funding flowing with invoices. So we're using it within the time frame. And you and I have had that conversation, so.
Yeah, happy
those
to
are my
continue to look
concerns
at that.
about what you have here in front of you.
Yeah,
So,
happy to take a look at that. Yeah.
I have a couple things. The first is the upcoming bridge replacements. I just want to, vocalize and stress the importance as we're going through plan and design on some of them, to be cognizant of the rural character of these bridges and these roads. I know it's been years of conversations with one particular bridge, and we've come to the point where we're looking at more of a rehabilitation than a replacement to preserve that. And a couple of the other upcoming ones are also incredibly historic in nature, and I just want us to approach it in that same light. I know that Monty Bridge received awards, and I think that's wonderful that we received that recognition. But it's a little much for the road it's on, and I just hope that moving forward, we can do what I need to do to preserve the rest of them, to stay in that rural nature while being updated to a safe state and up to standards that are current. So that was my bridge situation. And then I know I've already drowned on about this, but the road sign safety project, circling back, again, let's be very cognizant of the placement of that. I know we're getting ready to relook at it, and I don't want to just donate wood to the communities again. I think that we need to, I don't know if we want to talk to the community or bring it back to us to look at whatever method it is, but not to just re-implement it in the same fashion moving forward.
Yeah.
And then with the Mountain Ranch project, thank you for having it on here. I understand that it's conceptual in nature, but I understand that it's having these conceptual projects in place, position them should the appropriate funding come along. So I appreciate that being there. And want to emphasize the importance of that project. And then just, I think you're already aware, and I know this is just a draft, a lot of mismatched districts on there. So, just, I don't want to bring
Mismatched.
more attention to District 2 than.
Oh, yeah, well, we can look at the last 7 years on District 2.
You don't want.
No, I'm talking about.
You don't want to open that.
They have listed.
What do you
Like, it's
mean?
not just District 2, like there's one listed as 4, that's actually 1.
Oh, yeah,
So
okay,
just-
properly.
And
listed.
I think you guys probably have already caught.
Oh.
Yeah, we've got a few of
about
those.
Balance, yeah.
Talking about just this draft.
Good
Chair Stop.
job.
We'll have that all corrected when the final draft.
Yeah.
is forward. Yeah.
Good way to keep that can of worms shut.
And then kind of a topic, it's not in your plan, but I just wanted to put it out there, because you might be hearing some of my constituents. We have a couple back roads in District 2, being Railroad Flat Road and Sheep Ranch Road, that we have Dollar General trucks repeatedly getting stuck on them. I think they're using like personal GPS and thinking they can go on them.
Mhm.
So I wanted to see if at some point the conversation can be had on signs of like the no truck over a certain weight limit or length on some of these small back roads, because it has caused quite a problem.
Careful where you put those signs too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think between Railroad Flat and Moseyville, and between
Stop.
Mountain Ranch and Sheep Ranch.
Yeah.
That's where.
Yeah,
they're
right. Okay.
Repeatedly.
Good input. Thank you. We'll look
Maybe
at that.
have it entered into the GPS system so that the GPS system doesn't send.
That's what they
Well, so there is a
They're gonna look at
GPS
the
system
sign.
for truck drivers that is different than the GPS we would
Yeah.
use in our personal automobiles.
When we used to get chemical deliveries to a certain place, they would still try to drive through Gold Creek because the GPS.
Right.
So that's the crucial thing because they don't look at the signs.
Well, also, not to speak out of turn, but there are times that we get on Highway 4 going over the pass. A lot of those drivers were looking at their GPS, but they don't speak English.
Right.
And so,
Oh, yeah, nothing like a tractor trailer up on Highway 4 on Evans Pass, stuck around halfway in a corner.
We get them on Burson Road because it cuts between 12 and 26.
Yeah.
Their JPS would go and
Yeah.
they get, there's so many.
Don't get high centered sometimes.
And so, yeah, there's issues there too, but they just follow their GPS. That's what they do.
Oh,
But also I.
blessings of living in
appreciate
Calaveras County.
The changes you've made. It
No problem.
helps clarity to understand projects and their nature and why they've been brought forward. Thank
Okay.
you for that.
Asked one thing about District 2 because I drove down 26 the other day because I drove all the way past your place. I went to Railroad Flat and back.
Great
back.
loop.
It was phenomenal, actually, and especially with the bad corner on Spur and the mud that still goes across the road there.
Yeah, I do need.
Right, with all the encroachments we made people do right, that one has been that way ever since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
You writing all this down?
Yeah,
Trying to.
but I was just curious that I don't even remember talking to Caltrans on it, but those side barriers on 26 coming back down through, I will call it the Kenslack Mile right there,
Yeah.
right where the Kenslacks live. Is like, I
Between
never knew those, I didn't
Ranch
see them
and-
until the other day. I mean, those are phenomenal. It's like, there's about a mile right in one area. It's just these huge cement walls on the lower side.
It's extreme.
Yeah.
And that
It was
was,
just through there, did that go through COG?
yes,
I did, I just.
I believe it.
Well, I
did.
wasn't at COG, so I missed that boat and I don't recall it being brought up, but I was surprised to see. They're really nice walls.
And that was the other nice thing that you have the Caltrans projects listed, because similarly with that project, the Supervisor Stopper is referencing the community doesn't know these projects are happening until they're upon them. And I know that I've reached out to you and your team questioning it. So I appreciate having somewhat of a forecast to be able to
Right.
get ahead and advocate towards Caltrans to inform the community. I think that that is incredibly important because that was a big shocker. And again, it doesn't match our rural roads whatsoever. And that's my point to the bridges. Let's not do that.
Yeah. Well, and if I could just, piggyback on that, I was, Melissa Raggio and I, Executive Director of the COG, were at Caltrans headquarters yesterday, meeting with their director and a number of their deputy directors to speak to this very thing, about communication and taking into consideration public input and public perception when it comes to projects and this type of stuff. So we are making a conscious effort behind the scenes to try to help reframe the focus a little bit, if you will, on some of these projects, and if anything, on the communication side of it and how we can improve that. So very much aware of that, and we're working to do what we can to improve that. So your input's
could I?
great. Thank
for a
you.
second?
Yeah.
Senate Bill 1293 is on the consent agenda today at the Capitol, and it'll be heard at 1:30. And that is a bill put forward by Alvarado Gill that will make sure that in counties of 60,000 or less people, that Caltrans, when they do a project, has to communicate with everyone within a 5-mile radius of that project to let them know what's going on. So obviously it still has to go through the assembly, but hopefully they feel that there isn't a problem with it getting through the consent agenda today.
Yeah, we'll find out if someone pulled it.
They better not.
I concur with you. I think, and it is a good idea. So we can thank our senator for getting this one right.
Yeah. I would like to jump in if it's all right, Chair. I want to reiterate Supervisor Andal's concern about the bridges. The Haverty Ranch was on Fourth Crossing, and I spent my whole life thinking that Dogtown Road was one of the magical roads that you can really drive on. And I would hate to see that change. I also agree with the road sign safety issue. Again, my constituents obliterated what was put up, so I just be smart there. I want to thank you with working with the COG, and to thank Melissa as well for the work that you put in, and I'm very happy to see that Murphy's Main Street, Complete Streets, Supervisor Toffanelli was the one that gave me the heads up that this was coming down the pike, and to eliminate the median. Again, we're gonna have to sell 2 roundabouts, which won't be easy, but to be able to eliminate the stress that that traffic light puts on people leaving on big weekends and the backup that it creates, as well as for evacuation, would be huge. So thank you, Supervisor Toffanelli, for letting me know about that.
You're welcome. And during supervisor's comments, I have some things to say about a traffic light.
Oh, okay.
In my district, so.
Okay.
Let's just say the line was backed up past Vista Del Lago this morning.
Wow. So I appreciate all of the things that are on the list here. There are just a couple of smaller projects. I just don't want to make sure don't fall through the cracks. And I'll just talk to you about those offline.
Okay.
If that's all right.
Sure.
So thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm not gonna wait till supervisor's comments since we're here, talking about roads.
Sure.
Concerning the traffic light in Valley Springs in front of Marvell and the Taco Bell there. Just so Martin knows, I know the median up there was they just did it. And there wasn't a whole lot of forward thinking or anything about, or even community knowing about it. Well, this traffic light has been in a 2-year process. And at COG, the Caltrans representative comes forward, and for the last, and Micah can attest, for the last 1.5 years, I've complained to that Caltrans representative that they need to do a road study on the 4x4 stop sign before that street light, because it's going to tremendously affect in the morning and the afternoon the traffic there. And they have done nothing. The last COG meeting, which was a couple of weeks ago, he came before us and said, well, because I brought it up again, and he says, well, their traffic engineers say that the traffic light will relieve congestion. And so they're going forward with it, and they may do a traffic study after the street light's up and running. So Caltrans seems to do, and I know you're trying to work with them, you were there yesterday with Melissa, they seem to just do what they want to do without even consulting like the supervisor or even the community on what they think and how it's going to affect their daily commutes. They just, what they feel is going to do, they're going to do it. I think once they start a project, they're not going to back off on it, because it wouldn't look good for them to just back off on it. And I think that's the issues that are going on here. So this light hasn't even been turned on yet. And it's all over social media of people complaining about it, and the effects it's going to have. There are some positive things being said on it, but generally most of all of them is what it's going to affect people commuting in the morning up the hill and coming back in the evening, and how it's just going to back that traffic up. And the issue, and one of the things that are on your project list here is the issue. There's no way around it. We don't have no bypass. And I'm glad to see it was on here. We've talked about it before, that we have some type of bypass for those commuters in the morning going up the hill to Toyon, take their kids, or going up here to San Andreas or even to Angels Camp, the commute to go to work. That Caltrans needs to be involved in some of that, and some funding from them to do that bypass, because I'm telling you, this is gonna make that intersection absolutely terrible, and he's saying it's Vista-Lago, it's gonna be backed up past that. And the issue with that, and the issue with that intersection is, when they put the 4x4 stop sign in that intersection, and I was on the board and we had discussions at that time, and Caltrans is a little bit easier to work with. The problem is with a roundabout, because everybody keeps saying a roundabout, the intersection land is not large enough for a roundabout because large trucks go through there on Highway 12, logging trucks, big freight liners. So it's not big enough to ask for them to be able to use it the way it's designed to be. So a roundabout is something that's just not going to work. I don't know at this time what it is, but they needed it. They had time because they pulled off that project. They had time from like October until March to do a traffic study on that 4x4 stop sign, and they didn't do it. It's just, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to, for my constituents, like you were with the media, trying to tell them that Caltrans, they need to put pressure on Caltrans. And although the light hasn't been put on yet, because they haven't put a switch for the fire station in place yet, because the fire station needs a switch to turn all the lights red when there's an emergency, so their trucks can get out of there, has not been installed all of this time. But I'm telling you, it's gonna be chaos coming forward, much like your media.
I had conversations with Supervisor Fallendorf to talk to RC, because I think what's happening a lot of the times is what we're getting is urban solutions to our rural road issues.
Correct.
And, one of the biggest things about the median was that they said it was a double yellow line, and should never cross it to begin with. And they don't know how we drive in these rural areas. If we were not to cross a double yellow line to get where we're going, we would never get there, or we would be driving 10 miles out of our way to turn around and come back down. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Agree with you in most instances, but some of the urban solves work better in rural areas. So it's not it's not even the one size fits all. It's more of a one size fits no one. Because you get places like Santa Monica Mountains and stuff in LA, and they have the same issues that we have here. I think you've probably dealt with that in some other places, sir. And and also with the coastline and different rivers coming in and out, so there's every situation is a can of worms. And we gotta figure out how to open those without spilling. So I think we could probably carry that to CSAC also, and probably get some help from the urban areas. Because we have the planning and strategy going into these projects is crucial. And I think that if they don't have a finger on the pulse of the community, like Gary said, and they reaching out to the people that actually live there, that know the traffic patterns and timing, that's crucial.
Well, I'm not saying that there's not a need for something there, because there has been a number of major accidents. There are people trying to get out of the parking lot and cutting things close and getting T-boned or whatever. So there has been, but just putting this in and not having any consideration for what it's affecting in other areas that before it is the real problem here. You can do this, but it's going to then affect over here. And just to wait when you've had 2 years to do some type of study for it, to make everything flow is I just can't believe that they wouldn't or couldn't do that. So.
Thank you, Gary. It's good points. I think we can all agree to agree. So anything else? Public comment. Comment online. You need anything from us?
We have no online public comment.
Thank you, Ms. Simpson.
Does anybody else want to talk about anything further? Just. District 2 has a little bit of extra wait time on their roads. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's pushed out at least, looks like to 2028.
Yeah.
Concept.
We know. You got a lot done. I mean, those concrete walls are phenomenal looking.
We have a lot.
I haven't seen anything like it anywhere else in Calaveras County.
It's on Monjay Bridge.
Well, I haven't been out there.
Check it out.
That's new.
I can send you the pictures.
No. I gotta go visit it myself. With that, do you need anything from us, Micah?
No, if the board's okay, I could make the revisions and edits to this and bring back the final draft for your approval. And then once we get that completed, we could pursue on-call contracts for the consulting services that we need to start delivering on these projects and working with the COG on potential funding and getting everything moving. So,
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'll come meet you in the office later and we can talk about that 2028 money, where it's going.
very good.
I'm kidding. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
And Ms. Simpson, should we bring it back to the board for announcements?
Yes, please.
Mr. Hubbardy.
Thank you. On the 25th of last month, I attended the RCRC unit Sacramento at the alternate.
Your microphone starts.
It's on. Yeah, thank you. It's on. There we go. On the 25th, RCRC Sacramento is the alternate. I brought up the idea of fuel break maintenance. Where's money for that? A big topic of conversation were wolves and what we're all going to be doing about that. Also, which I was unaware of at the time, that there was a lot of steam behind bringing grizzly bears back to California, which we don't think is a great idea.
We're gonna do that also?
No.
So, no, we're gonna flood it along with wolves and,
Yes.
because you know what? Relocating is against the rules.
I can't wait.
There's laws that violate the other laws when it comes to all these animals and fish and wildlife.
Yeah. Calaveras Historical Society on the 26th, Friends of the Arnold Meadow on Sunday, the 29th. Really cool thing that the museum is doing. We got money from the city to put the bar back at the Angels Hotel. So where Mark Twain heard the story, you'll be able to go in and take a selfie or what have you. Or just if it's not open, look through the window to see where Mark Twain actually. So
Can you purchase things there?
We're working
There's a license?
we don't.
Not yet.
Not yet. But
Okay.
no, I don't believe it'll be.
Time will tell.
But yes, we will definitely have little mementos and things. On the 30th, we're still doing our ERSN logins with the radios, which has been very successful. I did the EPOC call, which is the Ebbets Pass Property Owners Council on the 1st. I met with Senator Alvarado Gill at the firehouse. She did a town hall, again, asking for money for maintenance. And then met with Supervisor Andal at the focus group here with the animal shelter on the 2nd, Area 12 Agency on Aging. And then wanted to give a shout out to the chamber and Sherry and doing the On the Right Track at Calaveras High School. I am the nacho cheese guy for the lunch. I pumped the nacho cheese on the chips and I just am really impressed with all the kids and how amazingly polite and well-spoken they are. On the 4th date, we lost Dave Gallagher, which he was the volunteer of the year a couple years ago. He's been at the fairgrounds for decades. There was a memorial for him at the fairgrounds that was very well attended, and it's sad to see him go. And then yesterday another meeting at the fairgrounds.
Awesome.
On March 25th, I attended the Parks and Rec Commission meeting. Later on the 25th, I attended the San Andreas East Fuel Break meeting with the Resource Conservation District. On April 2nd, I attended the focus meeting with Supervisor Hubbardy. And on April 3rd, I would like to thank you, Supervisor Stopper, for attending First Five as my alternate.
Well, I brought up most of what I was gonna say earlier when we were talking about Caltrans. But I did attend a COG meeting, and tomorrow I have a CPPA meeting at 9 a.m. in the morning, which is scheduled to be at the CCWD office building. So That's what and I have a Mountain County's EMS agency meeting on Friday. And then we have a 2-on-2 on Wednesday of next week with CCWD. That the 23rd, Wednesday. Yeah. That's all I have to report. That's all I have to report.
Thank you, sir. You know, with me being out sick, I missed 2 meetings. Yeah. And I'm glad to be back. I'm, you know, overall working back to being healthy again. I'm still gaining back weight that I didn't have room to lose. Because there's no weight to lose. So I was able to get first 5 in for autumn, and boy, I've been the alternate for 7 years. It was the first one I attended, and it was awesome. And all the people there are awesome. And you know, when the changing of the guard happens, I'm not gonna say any names. Some people will be sorely missed, you know, as they move on to retirement in their life. Then we'll let them do that at the time when they're ready. Also, because it's been a while, I did attend a COG meeting for Miss Fullendorf.
You did?
Yes, and you know, more good people. And then I'll be fortunate enough, I believe, in June to attend a meeting with, darn, I'm trying to blank on what it's called. I got it in my calendar, Martin, but you're having me.
Oh, the Area 12.
Area 12.
Area 12, thank you.
On aging, agency on aging. I didn't want to call it the wrong old thing.
Thank you very much for doing that.
No.
The problem is with the Sierra Nevada Conservancy.
We aren't there yet, so thank me afterwards. I'll be able to do that. And Stacy, we need to sign me up for the legislative station meeting for a CSAC coming up here next month. So I'll swing by the office for that. There's all kinds of fun, neat things coming up. Moto job training agency. Yeah, a bunch of fun stuff. So we're busy. And that's all I got. Miss Edwards, do you have anything to report? So far, we're in good standing today. Knock on wood. Teresa?
I just want to confirm Supervisor Topanelli, you are correct. Our 2x2 is next Thursday at 2:00.
I only did it that way so you could say I was correct. I don't hear that.
We appreciate whatever you're doing, Mr. Topanelli. Miss Stacy Simpson?
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Susan, you already did your job earlier today. I just had to get Mr. Topanelli to pay attention. So good job, all of you. Would you like to say anything, sir? No announcements as an elected official?
I really enjoyed some of the announcements that were made today. Public health announcing upcoming the mobile unit. I wish more people would.
I don't think she can hear you.
Yeah, you gotta come up to the mic if you're gonna. Hey, we're more than happy to have you up to the mic, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed having public health come and announce the mobile unit, having I wish more of our departments would, you know, take this opportunity to let us know, but also the constituents that tune in about the great things that are happening in the community. And I also wanted to get up at the time of the sheriff's acknowledgement, because following that through the papers and all the releases, you know, just pride in our county and and the good things that are happening. So thanks for calling me up.
Yeah, no, thank you, because I couldn't agree more. Lisa Medina is leading by example here. So a lot of people can learn from her. And with that, we'll adjourn. Have a wonderful day.